we have the director and creator of the String Arcade. Now, I had no clue what this was until they contacted us, and the basis of String Arcade is it's a string quartet that do video game music. But if you watched my review last week, it's like spanning generations video game music. It's not like Mario and all the popular stuff. I mean, there's some popular stuff in there, but it goes deeper than that, and it made me really, I mean, I listen to it all the time. I can't stop listening to it. I'm at work like, what do you listen to? Oh, that's Zelda or FTL or whatever. And they're like, okay, whatever, you're crazy. But, you know, there's a reason behind it. And so we're joined today by Dren.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you okay. We're joined by the creator of the String Arcade. How are you today?
Good. How's it going?
It is going really well. You know, you've heard me as I gushed praise upon this album so far.
You get a subtle
Thank
impression
you
he
so
likes it
much.
a tiny bit.
That's great. Great to hear.
Last week when I was reviewing it, my mind went blank in the middle because I was singing the Sonic song, and I was like, doop, 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 deer in headlights. So tell us a little bit about the String Arcade and why you decided to make it.
Okay, so this kind of came up. It wasn't a big light bulb went off in my head instantly to just do this one day. It was sort of a series of smaller events kind of happening together.
Like solar glass.
Yeah, and so what I started doing, I think, was thinking about what kind of music I wanted to write, because I've been doing a lot of, I write game music for a living, and I'd been working on a lot of games at that point, and it just started feeling like I was doing a lot of work for other people, and I wanted to think about doing something for myself. So the idea of doing some string quartet music came to mind because I'd always been a huge fan of the Stranger Than Paradise soundtrack by John Lurie, which is an all-string quartet soundtrack, and it really got me involved and excited about listening to other string quartets like Kronos Quartet or Turtle Island String Quartet and some of the other more adventurous string quartet ensembles that were out there doing pretty interesting work. And that album always stuck with me, and so I started playing around with doing some ideas with that. And
now,
so
there's
while
one thing
I'm
that
working
I wonder
on
real quick, how does one get a job writing game music? Because it's such an important part of any game. It really sets the atmosphere. People will hum the songs incessantly.
Yeah.
How does someone who just graduated from music school, or however you did it, get a sweet gig like that?
Well, that's the big, $100,000 question I guess we get all the time when we're in the industry. It's hard. It's really, really hard.
Devil sacrifices, dead chickens all over the place.
Firstborn, sworn away.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. You really have to kind of get to know a lot of people. It's a small industry, and you just start getting to know people. You just keep showing up at GDC. You keep showing up at other sort of other game events. Hopefully you live in a town where there are a lot of events like that. In San Francisco here, there's tons of them all the time. So I get to get out to a lot of these things, and people get to know you and kind of know what you do and what you're good at, and that you could be relied upon. That's sort of the big #1 question. Can I rely on this person to get our huge budgeted game finished?
I'm shocked at the implication that musicians might be less than reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually, it's hard to believe that we get so many questions from people who are interested in wanting to be in the business, and then I'm very involved with the Game Audio Network Guild. I'm the director of development there, and we get those questions all the time, and maybe I'll give somebody, hey, why don't you check this out, A, B, and C, and go have a look at it. Or we have these demo derbies we do at GDC, and some of them don't, they sound like they're really excited about doing it, but then when it comes to actually doing some of this work that is maybe not as exciting as sitting down and writing music, some of the that's where the cream rises to the top, right?
Yeah.
And some of those people who are not willing to do some of the more, dull things that are associated with the job kind of fall off to the wayside. So
how did you find
it's not easy, but you have to get out there and really let people know what you can do, and you can be reliable.
So once you were ready, how did you find the other 3 members of your string quartet?
Oh, I actually didn't play in the string quartet. I only arranged the music. Yeah, I arranged it and kind of put this whole thing together and was kind of helping conduct and doing that business. And I mixed it all and helped record it all and all those things.
You make it sound like you're doing nothing. Well, I just composed it and just
Yeah, I guess after you finish it all, it doesn't seem like it was that much work. If I thought about it at the beginning and put all those things in front of me, I might.
I don't think anyone would ever do something creative if they knew how much work it was going to be by the time they're done.
That's totally true.
But that's half the fun. We're on with Dren from the String Arcade, I got to ask you, how did you pick some of these songs? Because you would like Altered Beast and all these awesome things that I would never have imagined hearing on a mainstream video game soundtrack.
Right. Well, I guess I don't really consider this to be terribly mainstream.
We have a
I mean,
special
it's
definition.
great
of
that more people are
mainstream
enjoying it
around
than I really anticipated, but as I mean, almost. I have a hard time thinking of it as mainstream. It just seems like such a subculture to me. But anyway, I picked games that I was really into, that I played and really loved. So that was one of the criteria of picking the music. Was that number one? It had to be from a game that I really loved. And Altered Beast, I played the crap out of that when I was,
didn't?
you know,
remember
when I
being
had
in
a
the
Sega
arcade.
Genesis. Man,
Just-
I loved that game. And so that one had to be there. And I always remember the music, you know, and. You know, several of those games are things that I just really, really enjoy. And then the second piece of criteria, it had to be some music that spoke to me from a game that I liked, and that was also going to be open to interpretation, because a lot of these pieces we really had our creative freedom with. So it had to be something that we could mess around with a little bit.
Well, I did notice there was quite a bit of Sega on there. Is it safe to say you're a fellow Sega fanboy?
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah. It's hard
Yeah,
to
we got
find us,
Echo
you know?
and Sonic and Altered Beast on there. Sure.
Yeah, man, I just loved it. So, back to the String Arcade, you formed this group with a specific purpose, I think, for this charity.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about this charity.
Okay, it's a music program, the Alameda Music Project, and you can find out more at alamedamusicproject.org. And it's a new music program that's beginning this fall, and it's an after-school program every day after school. So it's like an after-school, after-care program where they'll be learning music, strings, percussion, and chorus. And it's kindergarten through fifth grade. There's no tuition involved. It's for kids who are underserved and don't get a chance to study music. So it's a great way for these kids to get introduced to classical music and other, you know, other types of music, such as the game music. And hopefully this release helps to inspire them to hear some of their favorite games being played on classical instruments, you know.
I love that so much. Like, I am just old enough that we still had arts programming when I was in elementary school. And they were always my favorite classes. And I really do feel like they affected me in a good way, impacted me later on in life, as far as teaching me that it's okay to be creative, that it's okay to try some new things that you may not be good at instantly. Like, you learn your first failure in an art class.
You do.
And I mean that in a good way. Like, we all need to have a first failure or two when it doesn't matter yet.
So,
Along with each other and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we look at the String Arcade, do you plan on continuing this? Because I really think
He'll
you
be
should.
heartbroken if you don't.
Well, you know, let's get through this one. And I had a lot of fun doing it, and so did the players. So my guess is we'll probably do something else eventually, but I don't have any plans yet. It was a lot of fun, though, and considering we got the funding through Kickstarter and are getting a great response, it's been very positive. So I don't see why not at some point.
That was my next question, because it came out on February 11th. How's your first week been so far?
Oh, it's been wonderful. Every review we've seen has been glowing. I haven't seen a negative comment. Everyone seems to be enjoying it, whoever discovers it. I have to say it's been surprising, the response I've gotten. I kind of thought it was going to be a little bit more under the radar, and I wasn't sure how people were going to respond to these interpretations that we did of some of the music that they're pretty familiar with, you know. So it was going to be an interesting litmus test to see what people thought. But so far, I've been surprised at the overwhelming positive.
Gavin, that was a
response we've
good
had.
job setting all those hitmen out for anybody that had something negative to say about
Yeah,
it.
I kind of,
He has been saving up his pennies
stalked
for
the
that.
web and sent nasty emails to people who are like, I don't think I like this. It's not Video Games Live. Well, screw you, I'll stab you.
They might not still be alive. I'm just saying. Undeserving people.
So, I'm just going to ask you this right now. If you do another album, can you do a Space Channel 5 song? Because that's like my favorite Sega game ever.
All right, I'm taking notes. I'm writing that down.
I hope so,
Channel
because I'm going to
5.
stalk you till you
There.
do. Because it's
Space
Space Channel
Channel.
5.
All right, got it. All right, we'll consider it.
All right. So, String Arcade, it's the stringarcade.com, correct?
Uh-huh.
And where can they purchase this album?
You can get it digitally at louder.fm, That's LOUDR.FM, or iTunes, or Amazon, or Google Play. And if you want to get the physical CD or the download, you can get that at Bandcamp. And it's available at all those places.
Now, I recommend the physical version because it comes with bonus tracks, correct?
Ooh.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
it's got Altered Beast and it's got the Tron song.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Two
Tron.
songs. Tron was really
That's
good.
why I haven't heard that one, because it's on the extra track.
Yeah, so, all right. Now, just really quick before we go, we have a few minutes left. What was your favorite game that you ever scored?
That I scored. Gosh, that's a good question. It's hard to kind of separate the music and the actual game. Boy, I had a really good time scoring Ghost Recon Commander, and that game didn't get a lot of it because I wasn't quite sure how to market it. But I really enjoyed the scoring and working with the designer. It was Brenda Romero I was working with, who was the designer, and that whole project was pretty fun. And it's like, I have done so many soundtracks that have kind of, I won't say uplifting, but definitely kind of kept a positive vibe.
Uh-huh.
And this was a soundtrack that definitely had more of like a spooky, kind of sad, a little bit more, a little deeper,
Darker
emotional
tone?
tone to it. Yeah, darker and deeper tone to it.
Well, I don't really think you can tell an upbeat score to a war game. You're blowing people up to, happy Samba de Amigo music. I don't think so.
Right,
So-
right. Well, some of those games do have like more like kind of let's kick some butt music, some stuff like that. But yeah, it was that one I thought was pretty nice.
All right, so thank you, Dren, for being on the show with us. Make sure you guys head to thestringarcade.com to get all the information about this and to follow them on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff.
Stalk them and download the music and pay for it. It's going to a good cause.
Yes,
Come
it's
on.
going to a good cause.
Yes.
So thank you, Dren, for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Maybe when you have another album or, you do like Space Channel 5, I'll totally make you play it live or something. Who knows? So thanks
All
for being on
right.
the show with us today.
Thanks for having me.